Hello and welcome to Introduction to Video Game Development. This is Computer Science 303 at Missouri State University. My name is Matthew, and again I will be showing you how to use UDK. As always, I give the disclaimer that I am not an expert. Now today, to begin with, we're going to go ahead and show you how to do the final setup to build a deathmatch level, a team deathmatch level, or a capture the flag level. And you can use any map that you would like, either the lab map that you've been working with, or we can simply use a new map. And that's what I'll go ahead and do now, is just start with this basic default level that they give us here. And before I begin though, I'm going to go ahead and add additional player starts, path nodes, and a weapon into the level. So I'll go ahead and pause this while I put in those basic features. And now you can see I have added here a total of 8 different player starts scattered around my little level here, and a number of path nodes scattered around the entire area. And I also put in one weapon factory here, and if you look at its properties, I've set this up to be a rocket launcher. And once you have a similar setup in your map, that is 8 player starts, path nodes connecting everything, and a weapon factory, first thing we want to do is go ahead and save this as a deathmatch map. So we'll do save as, and for a deathmatch map we want to use the prefix here, capital D, M, dash, and then you can put in any name you want for the level. So let's call this our deathmatch map, and save it. Now that prefix was important. Anytime you want to use a map for deathmatch or team deathmatch, you want to make sure it starts with that capital D, capital M, dash. Now go ahead and go to your world properties, so view, world properties, and here in the game type section, we've normally been using this default game type or game type for pi. What we need to do instead is game type supported on this map, and right now there's 0, so let's go ahead and add 2 items here. And the first one we want to select is UT Deathmatch, and then the second one we want to select is UT Team Game. And now we'll go up to this World Info submenu now, and the last field here is My Map Info. And so go ahead and select the downward facing blue arrow for Create a New Object. And you'll see you have a couple options here, UDK Map Info and UT Map Info. We want the UT Map Info. Go ahead and set that, and you'll notice right away it opened up with a submenu here. And in this submenu, the first thing we want to go to is the UT Map Info. Here we can set the recommended players for minimum and maximum, and I'm going to go ahead and set this for a minimum players 4 and max players 8. And now this last option here in this section of the UT Map Info is the Map Music Info. Now we've worked with sound in the past, and one way you can do music is just to simply create a sound cue out of a WAV file and set it up to play in Kismet or Matinee. But alternatively, we have this Map Music Info, and if you go to your content browser, and go ahead and make sure you're in all assets and search for the word music. And you should see here on the top right here, there's a_music_go_down_dm and a_music_rom_necris01_a. Now these are really, it's just a collection of different sound cues. If you double click on one of them, these UT Map Music Infos, in the properties here, there's a number of different events that might occur in a deathmatch game or other types of games, and it has a sound cue selected for each of these types of events that might occur. And you'll notice the green arrow here, so if you find other sound cues you'd like to use instead of the ones that are defaulted for these, you can go ahead and import those instead. And while we have that a_music_go_down_dm selected, we'll go to our map music info on the properties and go ahead and just import that right in. And so those are the basic properties we need to have set for any deathmatch map. And just to test this, let's go ahead and close, and go ahead and build all. I'll pause it for just a moment. Oh, and I had a few path nodes that are unnecessary, so I'll go ahead and delete these. And I will build the pathing once more. So we're good. And now File, Save All. And now I'm going to go ahead and close UDK, because in order to test this properly, we can't test it within the editor. We have to test it as part of the UDK game executable that we looked at in our very first video. So closing UDK, we set this shortcut up the first time. If you don't have it, I'll go ahead and open the file location so you can see it. In your UDK install, under binaries and then Win32, you have this udk.exe application, and this is the one we want to use, and that's the shortcut I have set here. And so, opening this up, and go to Instant Action. Now, game mode will be Deathmatch, and then Map, and we called it our deathmatch map. And go ahead and start the game. You can hear the music from our music map info, or map music info, and you can move around beforehand just to take a look at the level. Go ahead and press fire. Right away you see everyone running around ready to go. And this will behave no differently than any regular deathmatch map that's already built into the UT. And I'll exit that now. And we can also set that up as a team deathmatch. So instant action, game mode, team deathmatch. And our map is the our deathmatch map. And we'll start the game. This time you can see there is a blue and a red team on the bottom, and we are defaulted to the red team.
Play. You are on red.
Enigma and Evolution are on my team. And so you can see now we have Team Deathmatch set up as well. And so setting the properties for Deathmatch will also work for Team Deathmatch as well. And I'll go ahead and exit from here. And now let's go ahead and open our editor again, and we'll reload that same map again. We'll adjust it so that instead of a Deathmatch or Team Deathmatch, instead we'll play as a Capture the Flag game. So this is an existing map, and it was our deathmatch map here. And before we go anywhere with this, so far we've only been using normal, just basic player start actors. But for a Capture the Flag, we'll actually have to set up specific player starts for the different teams. So let's start off by deleting all of the player starts in our level. I'll go ahead and pause this while I do that. And so now all of my player starts are gone. And before I place any special team player starts, let's go ahead and decide where our bases are going to be. If you go to your content browser, and then under actor classes, and then navigation, you'll see towards the bottom here we have UT-CTF blue flag base, and UT-CTF red flag base. So let's go ahead and drag those out into the level. So there's our blue flag base, and then on the far side we'll put our red flag base. So now we have the two bases set up, and if you go to the top section here is common, and then under player start we have a UDK team player start, and then UT team player start here. Go ahead and select that, and we'll put 3 over by our blue base. And we'll go ahead and put 3 over by our red base. And you'll notice they look a little bit different from the regular player starts, and you can see the controller there tells you what color the team is that's going to be spawning there. Since this is the blue base, we're going to want this to be for blue players to spawn, players on the blue team. And so if you, let's go ahead and close that for now, select each of these that you want to be on the blue team. There we go. So I have all 3 of the team player starts here over by the blue base, and I'll right click and go to the properties, and then the very first option here is UDK team player start team number. We'll go ahead and set that to team 1 for the blue team. Now I'll close that. You can see right away the color on the controller on each of these icons changed from red to blue. Now, while we have the bases placed and we have the team player start set up for each team around their respective bases, it still doesn't really tell the AI for the enemies where they should be going or what places on the map are really important. So if we go back to our content browser, under actor classes, in the navigation section here is UT defense point. And this is essentially going to be like a rallying point for the artificially intelligent enemies, so they know where they should be hanging out if nothing else is going on. And so UT defense point, and we'll drag one here over by the base, and let's also drag one over by the other base. And now we have to go into our defense point, double click it to go to properties. You see the very first option here is defended objective. And we have to basically select which base we want them to be defending. And notice whenever you click on one of these, it always goes to the properties for the new actor that you've selected. But while you have the defense point selected, go up here to the top right of your properties window, and there's lock selected actors. Go ahead and click that. Now it'll be staying on this defense points properties no matter what else we click on. And so while we have the first defense point by the blue base set up with the properties open and locked, go ahead and click on the blue base itself, and then hit the green arrow on the defended objective field. And so now this defense point is making it so the enemies will defend this blue flag base. And we will have to do the same thing with our other. I'll go ahead and unlock my selected actors, and going to our new defense point, I'll lock the actor to that, or lock it to that actor, and then going to our red base, hit the green arrow, and we fill the field in. There we go. And now, before we continue and before I forget, let's go ahead and save this file. So we want to do save as. We don't want to destroy our earlier deathmatch map, but this time instead of the capital DM or capital DM dash prefix, this time we want to use lowercase v CTF dash and then whatever name you want to put in there. And so I'll call this one our capture the flag map. There we go. And I'll save it now. And then also we want to go up to view on the world properties here, and going down to our game type supported on this map, let's go ahead and delete the deathmatch and UT team game, and we'll add 2 more. And the first one will be UT-CTF game content. So UT-CTF game content. And then the second one is UT vehicle CTF game content. There we go. And going back up to our map info here, let's go ahead and set the maximum players to 6. And then also our map music info, just for the sake of trying them both, let's go ahead and go to our other map music info here, the A_music_ROMnecris01_A. With that selected, we'll go ahead and send that into the field with the green arrow. And so everything should be set up now. Let's close these and let's build all. And I'll pause this while that's going. And once you get that to build with no errors, go ahead and close this and we will save all. And now let's go ahead and test it. And so, like before, we'll need to test this in the UDK game setup over here, the executable. So I'll go ahead and open this. And now we want to go to instant action, and then game mode will be capture the flag. And now under maps, any of them that have that prefix will be showing up here. And so the capture the flag map that we just created was called our capture the flag map. And I'll select that and start game. And so we're on red team, and I'll fire to begin. Here's our red flag over here that we have to protect. And I'm going to make a run for it. And they got me. But you can see it works just fine. There we go. And now, one last thing I wanted to cover is how to perform level streaming. I know for your final projects, you're working in groups, and so you might be working on separate levels, but you want to stream them together into a single level afterwards, where it creates one single environment. And so I'm going to go ahead and start with our Lab 13 map that we worked on last time. And opening that, here's our content browser. Now everything is exactly as we left it last time. And then we also had another map that we worked on during a previous tutorial for terrain, where we created a map that we called exterior. And so we want to stream the exterior map into the Lab 13 map so that they both exist in the same place, in the same persistent level. And so what we can do is go to your content browser, and then we've only used the content browser tab, the actor classes tab, and now we're going to use this third tab, which is levels. And so right now this just says persistent level 412 actors, and your number might be different, of course. And so we need to be able to stream the level into here. So if we go to level and then add existing level, and go ahead and select the map that you want to stream in. I'll go ahead and use our exterior.udk map and open it. Now it's going to give us 3 different options here for how we want to stream the level in. We can do it as always loaded, so it's essentially just part of that level, and no matter where you go it will always be there as well. And then we also have this Kismet section on bottom. You don't want to use this distance one. I find whenever I try to stream a level in by distance alone, that the UDK editor tends to crash, and it never really does seem to work properly. So you have the choice really of having the streamed level always loaded, or we can load it in with Kismet. So we'll go ahead and load it in with Kismet. Always loaded is it's easy enough, it works well, but one of the main things you want to do with level streaming is to be able to make it so you're not having to render the entire level at all times. So if an enemy's in one area, you don't necessarily want to have it always streaming in areas that wouldn't normally be seen. But we'll go ahead and do Kismet and say OK. And you see right away the terrain map that we were working on last time just immediately appeared in its location where we saved it last. And so they're essentially existing in the same space. So if you're working on two levels separately, you might need to move everything over to get to line up afterwards. Mine seems to be aligned pretty well to the edge there, so I'm just going to leave it as is. But it's not going to be seen right away if we were actually playing the game. And so let's go ahead and close this, and going back into Kismet. Oh, and I've already added those, so let me go ahead and delete these real quick. So, okay, and so in order to stream the level in through Kismet, go ahead and right-click, New Action, and then Level, and then we have Stream Level. And in the properties here, we have to give the name of the map that we want to stream in, and it has to be within that Content Browser Levels tab already streamed into the persistent level by Kismet. And here we'll go ahead and just type Exterior, since that's the name of the map that we want to stream in. And notice as soon as we set the name, the icon on the inside of the stream level went from being an X to a green check mark. That means it's good to go. And so you can stream in a level based off of any kind of trigger that you might want. Ideally, you would probably want to use a dynamic trigger volume, so that as soon as you step into a dynamic trigger volume where you might achieve line of sight, then you could go ahead and load the level in then, and then have another trigger volume for when you step into it. It would unload the level again. But for the sake of expediency, let's go ahead and we'll just do this from a level loaded event. So new event, level loaded. And so as soon as the level is loaded and visible, we'll go ahead and have it load the streamed level in. And now we should go ahead and build all. Okay, and we'll disregard our warnings for now, and we'll go ahead and play this in the editor window. And right away we have our original Lab 13 level here, and streamed in as soon as the level was loaded, we have our terrain map here. And if you haven't adjusted your kill Z settings, you might want to set those to a large negative value so that you don't die as soon as you step off that platform. And so here is our exterior map. Wonderful. Now, when we're looking at that content browser in the level here, if you accidentally add the wrong level and you want to remove it, you can select it, and then under level on the bottom here is remove level from world, and you can take it out completely then. You can also merge all the levels that you have streamed in currently into a new level. And one thing that's kind of nice also is, say for instance you want to select some number of actors and send them into a different level. So for instance, maybe we want a level that has nothing but our static meshes here from the second floor. So if you select whichever ones you want to send to a new level, so I have these two right here selected. I'll go to level in my window here, and you can say new level from selected actors, and it'll ask for a name. So we'll call this second floor bunkers, and it'll ask how you want to stream it in, and we'll just do this one as always loaded. And so now you can see we have 3 levels. If you go back to our persistent level and loaded it up on its own, you would not see this bunker here anymore. It's only being streamed in through the second floor bunkers level. And something you can do as well, you can right click on one of these levels here, and you can have it show or hide the levels that you want. So say for instance we want to hide the second floor bunkers. Now you can't see them at all. They're still there, but now you can work without having to actually render them and slow down your computer. And I'll go ahead and show that again and do the same thing with the exterior. So we can say hide the exterior map, and it just disappears. It's still there, but we can't actually see it in the editor anymore. I will warn you though that you never want to actually perform a build or save while anything is hidden, because that can potentially cause a bug. So I'll show everything. You can always right click and show all right before you build. And now I will go ahead and close this as well. If you look in Kismet, for each level that we have streamed in, we have all of the different Kismet sequences set up right here. So you can go between your different sequences, and it's a different sequence for each level, so you don't have to set it up beforehand. It will just automatically come in as a separate sequence into your persistent level. And now I'll go ahead and build all. And once it has all the levels in there and you've built everything, it'll have all the path nodes for all of the levels there, and it will treat it as if it were one level now. And so if you have multiple dominant directional, or if you have multiple light importance volumes, it will go ahead and absorb them into one, and you can readjust that however you like. And I'll go ahead and close this now, and that's how you perform level streaming. And I will see you next time.